of all of this is the people that you're seeing on social media that have done very, very well tend to make a choice. They tend to make a choice. They tend to be somebody that's leaning in on something in particular. If you want to lean in on the general stuff, real estate, you're going to have a harder time than if you're going to be someone who's doing something very specific, like barns, like like something, or like beekeeping. Anyone know Texas Bee Works? Okay, Daniel, look her up and put her on there. There's a woman, Texas Bee Works. She's a beekeeper who has well over 1 million followers. And she always ends every post by saying, "It was another great day of saving the bees." And she says it like with a funny kind of voice. And it's great stuff because you really learn about, yeah, Texas Bee Works. Thank you. These are things that people have commonalities in. There's a guy that cuts the lawn. He walks around to people's homes in a fairly depressed neighborhood, and he sees an overgrown lawn, and he knocks on the door and says, "Look, I do this just for my social media following. Do you mind if I mow your lawn?" And most people say, "Yeah, this looks like shit. Go ahead." And he mows the lawn and posts this on, and he's gotten 1 million followers. Why? People love to see things that are moving. They love to see different moving parts. They love to see processes. So Harris loves that guy. Harris, actually, I'm going to pick on you for a second, Harris. I'm glad you love that guy. Aside from him, give us a couple people that you're actually posting so Daniel could go put the posts, put the links
I
up.
don't know their names. I mean, there's similar to the lawn guy. There's like a guy who's doing power washing. I think people are just like mesmerized by these people.
Sure.
We're just putting the camera on them and they're fixing something or tinkering with something. I don't know the accounts, but it's just constantly. I'm sure now that I'm talking about it, it'll hit my feed a lot more now. But
Probably.
uh, yeah, probably. But I think people are just like kind of mesmerized by like day-to-day stuff. You have a lot of these like influencers who just talk about their day or just take people through their day. And I think kind of like the comment you made earlier about why do people talk about the weather? It's because everybody has like everyone has a very similar day. There's no one flying through the sky like Superman. We're all waking up, we're having our coffee, we're getting dressed, we're going to work, we have family stuff, and I think people relate to it.
People can. And
Yeah.
people love funny, people love hate, people love people that agree with them. They want to ratify and justify their own personal beliefs. They're not, people aren't looking for news. It's the last thing anyone's actually looking for. They claim that they're looking for news, but they're looking to validate their own existing opinion. Sure, you want to know about new things and stuff, and hopefully you'll be somewhat objective. Now, we're going to talk in a minute about how all this ties into you and your social media, but I still want to go over a few other things that might be appealing. So who put this? Who's NH? Nicole, great. Food, travel, pets, great, 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 great. There was someone on my team who started the Dogs of Boca Raton as an Instagram account. Take that idea. Somebody once said R&D, rip it off and duplicate it. This is not research and development. Rip it off and duplicate it. Take that idea and do it for yourself. If you live in Tulsa, the Dogs of Tulsa on an Instagram account. And then when you meet people, get a video of their dog. It could be the shortest thing and get them to explain that it's a short-haired pointer or something like this. People love their pets. They love that, and you're going to be actually able now. If you can make the leap between building a following on that and being able to extract that data to be able to consistently market to them, to me, that is where social media is at. Who's heard of Mr. Beast? Okay, one, two. Anyone else? Okay, do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Go to YouTube like, after this meeting. Daniel, make note of this as well, please. That Mr. Beast, he is now the number one account on YouTube, right after just a couple of others. And the guy does outrageous tricks. He does things like if you will stay with a stranger in this facility that we built, it has no television, the lights are always on. You get a very thin blanket. You have enough food to sustain you, but it's bland. You have water. There's nothing. And if you could stay there for 60, 90, 120 days, whatever period of time, he'll give you $10,000 a day. I'm not kidding. I mean, you could if you could stay there for 100 days, you get the $1 million. If you quit at a certain point, and he made video after video about this, that has gone viral. Again, nothing to do with real estate per se, but we're going to start to see a pattern between the success that these people are having. Please look up Mr. Beast. Very, very important. Yes, Hassan, he is interested in buying TikTok along with about a dozen other people. We'll have to see what happens with that. Okay. Who else has had some? Who anyone knows Sexy Phil? Sexy Phil, Phil DeFrankel, great guy, has some great content that people actually like. Who's got some female influencers that are out there? See, the more that you're going to look at this now, my goal for you in this meeting is to look at these influencers with a different lens and realize that you posting just listed, just sold, under contract. I do it too. Nobody gives a damn. Just let's be very clear about that. It's great for the branding. It's great to get yourself out there, but there must be something more. So, what I'd like you to do is think about your social media as a three-legged stool that is going to be some type of pillar holding the whole thing together. I could tell you what you generally see from me. My kids and my dog. Okay, my kids and my dog are everything. People go nuts over kids and dogs. Okay. You don't see my kids on Sunday nights screaming that they forgot to do an assignment for Monday, by the way. Of course, they're out of the house now, but you never saw that. You see them beautiful. You see them going on, that we have wonderful father-daughter trips. You see us on horses. I show you the stuff that I want you to see. In short, if you're feeling a crap inside, don't judge my exterior for your interior. And with any person that you see on social media, believe me, they're just as much of a disaster on the inside as you are. So just, that's one thing I want to share. There's a lot of people who are very depressed. It's a real thing now because of social media, and that's not what I want you to do. So I've got my dog and my kids. I've got my career, so the just listed, just sold, and all the crap that nobody really wants to know about. And then there's an educational component that I try to put in there. For example, there's a great app that you guys should know about. I don't have the visual here for it, but a potential client introduced it to me. Has anyone heard of Sunseeker? The app Sunseeker? Okay, you're about to thank me. I'm going to make you spend $10 now. Go to the App Store, download it. It is a requirement, in my opinion, for every realtor who sells houses to have this thing. What does it do? It shows you on a map each time of day, each day of the year, where the sun is going to be hitting that particular house.
God.
Now, yeah, Susan, right? That's pretty cool, right? That you've got people that will ask you this. These are the types of things that will give you an edge over the competitors. This is the type of thing where they could say, well, where does the sun hit? Hey, Paula, go ahead. I can see you got a question. You got to unmute
No,
yourself.
I was going to say my son would love this because he's my business partner, but he's also a professional photographer. And we're looking at, I was like, oh my God, he's going to love this.
Yeah. But part of what we're trying to do here is to make you better than the competition. There's always going to be somebody else. There's always going to be innovation. For those of you who came to the meeting 6 months ago and I was telling you, oh, deep seek, deep seek, deep seek, everyone was like, well, what is this guy talking about? Now it's all over the news. Now it brought Wall Street down yesterday or 2 days ago. Because just read about it. I'm just telling you that it's a fascinating AI tool, which I think you should all jump on. And because it's free, there's really no excuse. Give me some other influencers here. Give me some
Lil
other.
Mozzarella.
What?
Lil Mozzarella.
Lil, like Lil Wayne?
Yes.
Lil Mozzarella. I guess that Paul's a chef. Paul, tell everyone who you are.
Hi, I'm Paul Zwiebin. I work at Compass. I worked at Douglas Elliman for 18 years. I love what I do. I do 2 pieces of content every single day, either about food, about kids, about dogs, or about real estate. And Lil Mozzarella is a guy that probably 4 years ago was a union worker in construction in New York and, speaks like a New York City Italian guy, is always messing around. The Yankees just signed him to be an influencer. And
Really?
if you just watch the growth, it gets a little boring after the thousandth time that you've seen him, but he collaborates with a ton of other guys that do the same thing. Like with sandwiches, there's a guy named Kuj, what's his name? Kuj Foods. He's in Staten Island. He does another thing with sandwiches. There's a bunch of guys that do things with sandwiches. They all sort of talk like each other. And then there's 2 guys in Boston that stand behind a deli counter and do the same thing. it is unreal how many people watch them and how many, how much money they're getting paid with endorsements and stuff. But they're just interesting.
Sure. Have you heard, Paul, have you heard of Chew NYC?
I have not.
Okay, so that's my friend's daughter. She has a couple 100,000 followers now, and all she does is review food. Food
Yep.
is huge. I'm glad Paul brought it up. Food, that's something we all also have in common. No matter who you are, you have to eat.
Yes.
Unfortunately for me, sometimes it's too much. But no matter who you are, you have to eat. And knowing that, you've got to be able to find what else are your, again, looking at the workbook, you're going to see I spend a lot of time not necessarily talking about the kind of content that you could have, but who is going to be the person that you're actually targeting, and then let's reverse engineer that and put the kind of content in that will matter to those people. Paul hit the nail on the head. He was a chef. He's still a chef. He joined his wife and a team. They became among the top producers in the country, and he still leans in on his past. One of the great things about real estate, almost all of you have come from something else. I'm
Yep.
telling you, don't give up on your past. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Don't give up on it, because you built a lifetime, and all those people that go eat at restaurants, guess what? They live in some type of structure. So Paul's able to lean in on that. Who else? What other thank you for the little mozzarella.
You're welcome.
How many followers does he have now? Do you know, Paul?
I think like 750,000. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
it's a lot. It's great stuff. Um, what other influencers? Anybody have any other ideas of who they're talking to? See, let me go back just a little bit more historically. I'm 56. When I was a kid on the weekends, we would watch either ABC, CBS, or NBC. Those were your three options. And one of the things when I was a kid, when I was really young, I watched the Sonny and Cher show. Now, for the young people who don't know who Sonny and Cher is, Sonny Bono, he passed away crashing into a hill when he was skiing, and Cher is Cher. Unknown caller. She's great stuff. She's a famous person. And they had the Sonny and Cher show, and they had their little daughter come out at the end of the thing, who now transitioned into a man. In any case, this is the Sonny and Cher show. That's all the options we had. Today, with social media, if you're into something, you could make a tribe out of that something. There's something about you that Paul, me, Hedeka, Dominique, Aton, every one of us can't compete with. That's what I want you to lean in on. There's something about you that you've got that you could build a tribe, build a following that could ultimately enrich your business. Let's talk about that for a second. Who does something unusual? Who's got a hobby or a focus or a charity, a passion? Who's done something like a 12-step program, or who's done something with their kids, who's into some type of art? Guys, we got to kind of participate here. Throw any idea out. Pickleball, John Grateful, thank you. Pickleball. Look, I've not followed pickleball um, at all on social media, but my feeling is intuitively, I'm sure it's huge. And I encourage everybody to kind of look that up. Home brewing a beer. Fucking A, I love that. David, that's awesome. That's awesome, home brewing a beer. David, are you there?
Yeah, my father-in-law got me into it about 10 years ago. Um, and I started brewing beer for family get-togethers and things. So, um, made a couple. I actually, when my wife and I got married 5 years ago, I made a beer and Moscato wine mixture, for the for the actual wedding reception. We down on the beach. We got married in South Padre down in Texas. So
Okay.
uh, yeah, so it's been fun. But
Are you documenting this on social media at all?
not really. A
Yeah.
little bit when I would on brew days I did back in the day. Um, I would say today I'm brewing such and such beer, but trying to get back into it now. Because I miss it.
Okay. Look, most people come here thinking that we're going to talk about the technicality of making social media, which indeed there's many different ways, and all of you are right, and I'm not going to debate anyone on that one. But to first start with what the content is going to be is so crucial, because
Okay.
otherwise there's no, and David, if you really lean in on that whole beer thing, I think it's amazing because I think there's a reason that, you just don't see that. You just don't see that. And it could be a very, very simple. You could start with just screenshots of what hops is. You could just do screenshots of certain things. It's like the process, step-by-step process. And you could even do, if you want to make a go of it, you could do, this is your, 5-day instructional on getting your beer journey started. I don't know. Yeah, and that you do a different little 30-second video every day for 5 or 10 days, and you begin to get people actually coming back and following. Now, how's David going to sell real estate based on making videos about beer? Anyone have an idea before I lean in on John? Or okay, Paula, go ahead.
He will attract people that are either interested, want to do it, or, again, it's that like, know me, like me, trust me. And he may, get a following from that eventually will lead to real estate.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly getting people engaged on a higher level. Take a look at a funnel that you've got people that are coming into your social media. Many of you, by the way, are here from that same funnel. Okay, I'm letting the secrets out here. I want to grow a mastermind. I've got a mission. I'm looking for realtors that want to get smart, that want to talk about things. So we have our own little funnels actually set up to try and target it. And guess what? You come in and hopefully you like me. If you don't, we never see each other again. In which case, thank you for coming. I'm grateful that you gave it a try. But hopefully you actually like me and you think, wow, this guy's got some ideas that's worth actually hiring him for, paying for. It's not a symptom of a disease making a living, guys. And a lot of you are actually treating it that way when it comes to your sales. The first thing that happens with real estate is that you need to form some type of relationship. Yes, there are transactional things. Somebody walks in and buys your listing. I get it. But for the most part, the way I actually run my business is a relationship consultative sales. It is the fastest way to grow. It is the most comfortable way to do it. It's something that you could do each and every single day. And social media is a great lead in to this. Now let's see some of the comments that have gone on here. Drinking beer while playing pickleball. That's just great, John. John, John, are you connected to this John Grateful guy?
No.
Okay, so I don't know who John Grateful is, but we and Millie the Golden Doodle. John, is that John Grateful? Can you unmute yourself if you're still here? John Grateful here.
Sure.
Okay, so John Grateful, who's Millie the Golden Doodle?
That's my dog. And
Okay,
whenever I post anything about pets and doodles, and I get more comments than anything else that I post.
yeah. I've got Coco the Golden Doodle,
Oh,
and
you do?
yes, I do. And she's right here. You can't see her, but it's great, great stuff that you've got that. Now here, John Grateful for a second. John, that's okay. There you are. John, where are you? First of all, you want to tell everyone who you are and where you are?
Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm with Ivester Jackson, the Christie's franchise.
Great. So, have you made a leap into anybody that you've had on social media to actually trying to build business?
I haven't. I have not yet because business was so good and I'm refocusing this year. And I know a lot about social media. I used to own a web design company and I just had other lead sources that are not there any longer.
Okay. Look, it's not too late to start. I think I told everyone on a previous meeting, many of you have been to, I've got two Facebook groups that I've grown to over 10,000 followers. One of them is new to Boca Raton, Delray Beach, and the surrounding areas. And the other one is ChatGPT for realtors. I think that's what I called it. I changed the name of it. Let me just take a look here. Actually, I'll share my screen in a second. So sorry, ChatGPT and Real Estate Mastermind. So I'll show you what we have done here as far as that group. I leaned in early on ChatGPT, and now we've got 13,000 members in this group. This image is AI, and we actually have articles that we're able to generate through Medium and through different tools that are out there. questions that I pose to find out if anyone's using Claude to make CMAs. We have a great video on how you could use AIs to make some of the very powerful CMAs. I posed the question about TikTok effect. Now here, negative stuff posts. There's 858 reach in this one. It was more than some of the other ones. Why? People love to sound off. People love to be heard with regard to this. So again, this is entirely AI. The future of AI is here. So we put some stuff together for that. Again, we'll go over some more of the stuff. Is DeepSeek AI censored? That's something that I put up. God, I look like a moron. But we've got different images that we put up with this. Let me show you one other thing that you guys could do right now today to get leads. Okay. Here we have new to Boca Raton, Delray Beach, and the surrounding areas. I've got 9,200 plus members in this group, and we get requests all the time. Now, if you put this together and build it out, we could help you do it. You could put in the subscription questions that people are asked when they join. My questions are, do you rent, do you own, or are you planning to buy? And then we ask the simple question, would you like to be added to our newsletter? Okay, here's somebody, this Andrew Wolf requested a day ago. This is his email address to be added to the newsletter. He's a renter. Great. We need to add him to a particular news stream that we've got going here. Here's somebody else, Delray Kite Surfing Lessons. Well, this is obviously a business, but they said they're a renter, they're planning to buy. Depending upon how aggressive my team is, they might want to look that up. The guy said it. The guy's probably thinking it. Let me just see if there's anyone else. Okay, I don't have, in the last 2 days, I don't have anyone else here, but you get the point that stuff actually feeds into this. And if you now want to lean in, now why does this work? It works because we are desperate for content. Okay, I'm going to get you in 1 second, Paul. We are desperate for content in this world. You know, and now that Sonny and Cher is no more, and the ABC, NBC, CBS, and that your wife can't watch Dallas anymore because it's not on, and all that stuff that we actually, Desperate Housewives, you know, now that we are really truly a social media world, you've got to decide where your tribe is looking. Go ahead, Paul.
So yes, I was a chef for 18 years of my life, and I've done 3 events or 3 videos, 2 last year and 1 in January, where basically I go into another team's listing. We do a tour of the apartment or the house. We end up in the kitchen, and I'm like, "Hey, let's cook." And like last week, my whole team cooked for about 20 people at Robert Refkin, who started Compass at his penthouse. I'm going to Charleston for Valentine's weekend with my family to cook with a top team at one of their, listings. The whole thing's a write-off because it's a business expense. And it just, by collaborating with them, my customers see their stuff, and their customers see that I'm a go-to person, in New York City. And John Baton, we're supposed to do that thing in your commercial kitchen.
Yes.
Okay.
We have
But
to change the menu now.
What's that?
I said we have to change the menu. Stay correct with our timing.
No problem.
So basically, Paul, I got the perfect social media name for you. You're not going to like it. I think Paul's Weeping Food Whore. No?
Well, how about Paul's Weeping Meal Estate? Meal Estate.
Meal estate. Okay, we could do that. Paul's leaned in on that. You've seen these groups. I just showed you the new to Boca Raton, Delray Beach, and the surrounding areas. Paula, there's no reason why you couldn't do that in Queens. And John, there's no reason why you couldn't do that in your area. It doesn't take that much time, and you get people that are actually feeding into it. Again, you might not want buyers, by the way. It's mostly buyers. So if you don't, let's scratch that idea and go on to something else. But it's free, it's available. And why does it work? Facebook, more than anything else, every third thing that you see on Facebook is what? Anyone want to have a guess?
An ad.
An ad. And in order to get ads, they need content, and that's where you come in. And if you could get as granular as possible, that's where this social media is going to work. Look, I would love for you to be as big as these huge multi-million follower social media people. I'm coming up with practical ways for you to utilize social media today to be able to leverage that into business. Once you have those people, what are you actually going to do with them? Paul, what do you do with the people when they start following you on social media? Anything?
I interact with them.
Okay. So easy, even a child could do it. Maybe.
Yeah.
You interact with them. Great. Do they get added to other databases? Do they get an email from you? Do they get snail mail? Is there other?
So we are definitely. I'm actually having a meeting today with our marketing person at our firm, who has set up a whole thing where we're gonna like build on the videos, like joining a different website with, stuff about food, and I can go over that when I find out more. But it looks really interesting.
Sure. Okay, great, great stuff. Marie in South Florida, any ideas to attract a group of sellers? I don't necessarily know who to attract a group of sellers. I know a great way to attract homeowners. My wife is a professional organizer. You like that? Ooh, women love that more than men, I think. They absolutely. If you want to follow her, her Instagram handle is Organize Palm Beach. I'm going to put that in the chat here. Organize Palm Beach, and she's on Instagram. Okay. Sorry, not sorry for the commercial plug. She doesn't do much on social media at all. I wish she would. She's like, unless it's perfect, she doesn't want to put the image up there. That's her thing. It's perfection. And she always says that. We have that debate back and forth. But what does it actually do? It's given her a platform that people could actually see certain before and after. People love that before and after. You know what else people love? They love behind the scenes. Paul Zweeben taught me that years ago, that when you are doing photo day at one of your listings, get a friend with an iPhone taking pictures of you next to the photographer.
Yep.
It's picture day with Paul Zweeben, picture day with Edmund Bogan. People are just curious, what's behind the curtain? What is
Yep.
really going into that type of thing? People tend to, and here's the other thing for you to do, and I don't know if it's in the workbook. I hope it is. Make note of what's working. Make note of what's actually of where people are going with all of this. People love my kids. They love my dog. They love, actionable items. Terry, you know where I'm going with you now, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh
What
yeah.
that
Okay.
East
So,
River thing?
so, so Terry, is the East River really a river?
Why, funny you should ask, Edmund. No, it's not.
Well,
The East,
would you please tell all these good people who've come from all over the world what the East River really is?
despite its name, the East River is actually an estuary. What's an estuary? It is a body of salt water. So, all you New Yorkers who think the East River is something to go surfing on, no. I mean, you can, but it's not fresh water, it's salt water. Isn't that interesting?
And why we know this is because Terry made a video. And is that to date still your number one
Oh,
video?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You see, that's what it is. If you're in Austin, Texas, I want to see the bats. I've yet to see some great bats. My daughters went to UT Austin. I'd love to see the bats under the bridge. People love that stuff. If you are a chef, cook, if there's a fun fact about something that people want to know, I can make a video about this sun, whatever this thing was called, the sun app that I just showed you, the Sun Seeker. And I could get a lot of realtors. In fact, Daniel, you know where I'm going with this. We need to make a video about this now. I could get a lot of people engaging on that because it's something new. It's interesting. They're learning about it. Has anyone seen Erica, the attorney? She
Yeah.
reads fine print so you don't have to. Anyone? Paul?
Yes, I have.
You have? Okay.
Yeah.
So what's her account? Do you know?
I don't, but I've seen her on my feed.
So I'm going to take a look because you can learn a lot from her. People like instruction. People like to learn. Despite how you might have felt in school that you want to, have a snow day, people really do like to learn. And let me see. So it's Erica Colbert. Oh, shit. That was my dog. Sorry, guys. Paul, take the meeting for a second. I got to do something here.
So,
guys,
like, what Edmund said, that most of us were not selling real estate at 18. Think about if you worked on Wall Street in the 80s and the 90s. How many stories could you tell about working on Wall Street and then bringing that into real estate, right? Like trades or, shady people or not shady people, or how one guy, turned $10 into $10 million on a trade. People love excitement. Maybe you were a cheerleader for an NBA team. Like all of those things, you take in your past and you bring them into real estate. Evan Diamond, who is new to the group, is on right now. He's not in our office, but he just started on our team. And Evan used to be a builder out in California and Colorado, and he's going to use that past to put into some of his social media, and it'll be really interesting.
Sure. It's great. Look, all this stuff. So the point of this, if you can take anything away from the meeting, begin to think out of the box. We will have some more technical meetings showing you the tools that you can use to shoot the videos. And if you work through the workbook, you'll be able to see the kind of people that you need to focus on in order to do this. Now, somebody asked the question before my dog like knocked something over here. Uh, somebody asked the question is what tools can you use to how do you attract home sellers? And I'm just telling you, home organization, fantastic. Home fix it or stuff that goes on right now. We had a little leak, and part of the reason the dog just went crazy is the contractor is over here right now. He's a great guy. He's become a friend of mine. I could get a quick tip from him, which could go up, and people are they're going to stop and watch. And here's the other good thing. When you use stories, who uses stories on either Instagram or Facebook or hopefully both? Any of you? One, two, maybe no. Dominique said no. Terry, maybe. Hassan's been quiet today. No, not enough. Okay. Here's the good news about stories if you want to use it. If you use stories and actually check out the story itself, you'll be able to hold up the phone. You'll be able to click on, there's a number on the bottom and see exactly who's seeing your story. Isn't that cool? You could actually see the percentage of people that are your followers, and you could see the type of people, you could see the actual names of them. And if you set a goal to look up just one or two of them a day, if you are putting stories out there, you could then begin to do what I call the law of crap, capture, reward, automate, and plan. You need to capture these people. They're already watching your story. How do we upgrade them one level? And upgrade one level, get them connected to you on another social media, maybe LinkedIn. Then upgrade them to another level, get their email address, and then they get onto your weekly email, which all of you should be making, and which we can have a workshop on how to do. Okay. Get them up to another level. Get them to go to your cocktail party every quarter, which you should be having. By the way, you don't need to pay for it. People could bring their own booze. If you don't want to do that, fine, discard it. Move on to something else. You want a cold call? We could do that. Great thing about real estate, there's so many different ways to lean in and be able to grab these people. I'm just scratching the surface to kind of give you some ideas. Because the one thing all of you share as your biggest issue, you're not prospecting enough. There, I said it. You're just not. There's somebody that could do the paperwork for you. There's somebody that could take care of a lot of the other stuff. If you are in sales, it is your job, case closed, to just go out and drum up business and be able to get opportunity. You could have a lot of mistakes. You could have a lot of problems, but if you have no revenue, you're dead. So let's get that really, really clear. You must never stop prospecting. And I'll go a step further. If you take one other thing from this meeting, if you are into making some stories, a story by definition lasts 24 hours on Instagram and on Facebook. Never not have a story. Never not have a story. Try and always have some type of story that's on there. Now, you could think through what's going to be most interesting to your target audience, or everyone knew I was going to bring the AI into this today. You could give a whole profile to your AI of my customers are earn between $150,000 and $175,000 a year. They live in homes that are valued at $700,000. I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I mean, again, I'm throwing out different things here. They tend to be mid-level executives. They tend to do that. Give all the stuff into ChatGPT or your favorite AI, and then say, based on this profile, what would be most appealing to them on social media? Give me a list of 20 ideas. You like that? Now you got the AI doing a little bit of the thinking for you. And then once you actually have an idea, you could go even farther than that. I will take that at the end and show you just some of the tricks that I'm doing, some of the prompts. People tend to like those prompts. But you could now lean in on some of these technologies so that you always have a story, you always have something. One other thing that all of you, that I've said to all of you before, You know, for those of you who know me, I'm a gated community and country club expert. I live in a very prestigious community. I'm the poorest guy in the richest neighborhood, which makes me better off than most. Okay, it really does. I look at that and I say I'm a pretty lucky guy. But these people that are around me buy and sell very expensive properties. I want a piece of that. I make no bones about it. I want to be the dominant guy here. That's what I'm actually going for. And the content that I put out there, I created the Instagram account, St. Andrews members. Now, this is just for the members of this particular country club and their adult kids. You can't join. My best friend who doesn't live here can't join. I only let those people in. And as a result, I've got only 278 people in that group. But those are 278 people that really, truly matter. And when I see that they're watching my stories, when I'm handpicking and putting them in, I could also send them handwritten letters. I could get them out to lunch. I could do all sorts of stuff. It's a starting point, a nucleus of a relationship. So, for whatever it's worth, I want you to really begin to think of yourself as a marketing machine and not just some type of salesperson. And if you think there's an idea that might work, it probably will. It probably will. You just have to do it. And as I said, you've got something about you that I can't compete with. And I really want you to lean in on that. I want you to think really hard about what you've done. Yeah, the best education I got here was a widow who lives at St. Andrews. She started an Instagram account. She's got well over 100,000 followers in that Instagram account. The woman had me come over and help her set up a printer. Nice lady. Okay, wonderful lady. I help everybody around here. That's one of the things. That's my thing. I like her. And and she said, "Yeah, I started this Instagram account. I can't believe how it's grown." She started this account about bereavement. Again, thank God, I've got a spouse that's alive. But for those of you who don't, it could be about a particular lifestyle that, people lean in, people go online and they're like, wow, they have a shared collective knowledge, a collective something that's gone on in their life that they really truly need to talk about and express themselves. Now, of course, I thought immediately, how do we monetize this? This is the last surviving spouse in a house. Okay, sorry, guys. It's true, though. You look at that. How can we actually monetize it? That she has no interest in monetizing it. She just uses this because it was something that she was passionate about. What are you passionate about? Please, 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 if you have ideas, I really hope. Thank you, Marie. I'd love to talk with you out offline if you have time. If you have an idea that you think is good, create it. And don't be afraid to share it here because what works for Paula in Queens is going to work for, Kenny in California. And you're not competing with each other. That's what we have here. Go ahead, Paula.
No, I got an idea for content as you were talking when you said
Please.
before and after, because I always have to stage my pictures for my houses, for my listings. And is it boring to you guys to see before and after? I mean, especially if I just got a listing that's like filled with stuff. So I said to the owners, because they're like, oh, we got to clean out. We don't want to put it on the market. Right? I said, like, I got the signatures. It was very reluctant. But long story short, there's so much crap in this house. It's just an enormous amount of stuff. And it's so bad that it's distracting. So you got to take that out. I sent it to a company called Style Dog, and they're about $23 a picture. They're overseas somewhere. And usually within the next day and a half, I get everything back. It's worth $100, $200 to me to stage a couple of those pictures. Is that enough interest for a post? Hey, look at this,
It's fantastic, but here's what you do, and here's what you're going to see. You show less than a second image of what it looks like now, of the after. Because people aren't going to wait. So what you're seeing, the people who make these things go viral, they put up a quick shot of what it looks like now. Then they go back to the mess and they show all the stuff that's going on. And then maybe in high speed, my wife did something where she was, I swear to God, it took her all fucking day, but she put this in high speed and in like a couple minutes, boom, look at that. It's so easy. I told you, you're not going to be able to charge what you charge if people think it's easy. We need to know that it's not that easy. But
so what first shot is what?
The first shot is the completed image, how beautiful it is. And then if you want to get crazy, you could do maybe a car screeching. It didn't always look like that. And then you show what's going on. And then you could show the process of cleaning it up, fixing it up, what you actually did. All of that is really, really important stuff. So try and find videos that you think are actually working. You know, somebody once said success leaves clues. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Again, and this is not about you becoming a star, although if you want to, knock yourself out. This is about using social media as the tool that it's available to you. It's inexpensive, if not free, and you could use it to immediately go to your office and start to make money. That's what I want all of you to do. If you don't do it, somebody else will. If you don't get the deal, somebody else is going to. It might as well be you. For goodness sakes, please. Making money is not a symptom of disease. It's one of my three favorite things, aside from occasional sex and chocolate cake, and not in that order. So everyone knows that. That's my thing. Wants, needs, and brags. Who wants to tell me something they want or need or want to brag about? That's the time in the meeting for people to talk about, you know, a deal they may have gotten, a lead they've gotten, something like that. Okay. Okay. Well, here's the brag that I've got, something that I'm starting right now, my annual help the next generation with internships. If you want to do this, this is really easy. If you help my kid, I owe you more than if you help me. Isn't that the fact? Paul, if I helped your kid, wouldn't that be better than helping you? Okay. Anyone who has children would probably agree with that, unless, you know, well, maybe there's issues. But if there's no issues, most people say that that's a great thing. So I try and find people who need to have interns this summer. Paul, I don't know if you need any interns this summer. Um, and I then reach out to people who have kids that are looking for an internship. Even if it doesn't work out, you're the person that helped them. Think about that. Even if it didn't work out, you're the person that helped them. And all this can be done on a Google Sheet to be able to match those folks that are out there. So try and figure out a way. And by the way, that lends itself very nicely to social media, that you've started that you've got people that you know who have businesses. If you have a kid that's in school that is looking for an internship this summer, it's a great time to start that kind of campaign. You see, you just have to think a little bit deeper. And the deeper you go, the more opportunity there is. Wants, needs, and brags. That's one idea. That's my brag that I'm getting started here. If you have a kid that's looking for an internship, or if you know of anybody that has a job that's looking for interns, definitely reach out to me. Who else? Who's got a want, a need, or a brag? John or David or Hassan? Lisa.
I
Lisa,
do.
go ahead. I saw Lisa. And John Bateman, I'll get you in a second.
Okay. I just had a wild random call from somebody about a week or two ago. And it's a buyer, a $5 million buyer that just found me online. He is like an old hair band rock and roll guy. He's the coolest guy. I've got to find him a place that fits his 45-foot tour bus, and he's retiring from Disney after all the time and all his lifelong career. Karen Carpenter babysat for him. And
Can you share his name, or is it a secret?
I'm not going to tell his name.
Ah, that takes the
But
fun.
he sent me some pictures of, the old hair stuff. And he's just the nicest person that if you could mold him for any buyer. I mean, yeah.
Okay,
and
well,
I haven't even met him yet.
That's something to really brag about. Isn't that wonderful? So
Because he could have picked anybody.
Yeah.
I said, oh, how'd you find me? Well, I just went online.
Okay. Just, all use Forewarn and make sure he is who he is. Does everyone have the app Forewarn? Does everyone know the app Forewarn?
What is it?
The app Forewarn, my friends, single friends say they should put this with the dating apps. The Forewarn, it's I'm looking it up here. It's available for free through my realtor association. I don't know if it's available for free for you. Otherwise, it's like $25 a month. You have to be a realtor to use it. And you could enter any telephone number into it. And it will give a background of if that person is a bad person or not. Or, if they've committed any particular crimes. Usually you get a bunch of things here. I'll show you one. 731564. Hold on a second.
I didn't know it was just for realtors.
Well, that's how it was told to me. Who wants to be brave enough to give me their telephone number and I could tell everyone about you? If you got a parking ticket. Okay. Paula, are you sure? Because it says age as well, and it says.
I don't care.
Are we okay?
Well, Yep,
I can give you my number. I don't mind.
Okay, what's your number, Paula?
718
718
781
781.
3055.
Okay, so I'm looking this up. Okay, am I allowed to say what it is?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you're Paula. I won't give your full address, but you live in Whitestone, New York. You're 63,
Right.
and I've got 4 phone records for you here from the past. You have a very clean record. I don't see anything that's bad about you on there. Okay, so guys, this is required stuff, even if your association isn't paying for it. John, John Baton, did you want to give me a number?
Sure.
Okay.
203 249
203 249. Yep.
5932.
Okay.
I use been verified, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a few of them out there. John, am I allowed to talk about you?
Sure.
Okay. So, John, you're 46, John Joseph Bain, junior. I didn't know you were a junior.
Yep.
And we got one possible criminal infraction, and that was in 2004. It's case type misdemeanor. You were speeding over 65 miles an hour, and the disposition is you paid the waiver.
Yes.
Okay. Now, those were fun. I had someone on my team actually use it. We found someone who insisted upon just going looking for real estate with her, and he was on the sex offenders registry. No, we're not going to take that job. It's just a buyer. It's just a deal. It's not worth your life. The guy's full of shit. Guys,
I think my guy is pretty honest, because he even told me one night, he said, oh yeah, if I move to Arizona, I'll be closer to my 2 daughters in California. And they're great girls. They're both dancers. And then he paused. He said, not the dancers you're probably thinking. They're strippers.
just take just be careful. That's all I'm saying, Lisa.
Of course.
Bad people do bad things, and if he's
Of
great,
course.
that's wonderful. I hope you make a lot of money. Okay. Anyone else here? We're kind of all over the place at the end here.
So,
John, go ahead.
So after 12 years of the business, I finally am building my own custom website with Luxury Presence. And it's been kind of fun, kind of thinking about what I'm trying to offer to my existing referral business of clients and things like that. Yeah, so my big 2 things lists recently, we're building out a vendor list, which people have to register on my website to get access to. And then also I'm going to provide for free like a tide table for I live down by the water, so everyone's kind of concerned about the tides. So it's nice to be able to kind of provide those kind of little extra resources to my clientele.
It sure is. That's great. That's
I'll
great
be
stuff.
curious how you like Luxury Presence when you get a little further along.
Yeah, I mean it's not cheap, I'll tell you that.
I know.
Yeah, I figure I've just gonna give it a try. I've never done it. I just feel like with this, more of a larger presence of AI and things, I just feel like you have to have your own personal website.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I've had my own for 20 years, and changing to a whole new platform like that is very expensive and not always worthwhile.
Well, okay, we'll let you guys get beer and chips to talk about that at some point. Let me just quickly show you one little AI hack. If you are not subscribed to ChatGPT, they don't pay me for saying this. I think the $20 a month is worth it. Why? This has already built a profile on who I am, and it knows things about me because of the searches that I've done. Maybe a little creepy, maybe not, but I could also do something. I promised you some content for your social media based on what you know about my real estate mastermind. Can you please give me 20 highly 20 social media post ideas that will likely get clicked on by realtors? Okay, so we'll just lean in on that for a second. And now I'm going to ask the same question to another AI in a minute. Okay. The number one mistake even top real estate agents make when negotiating and how to avoid it. What separates a $500,000 agent from a $5 million agent? Guys, I'd click on all of these things. AI for realtors, how to automate 50% of your work and still close smaller deals. That's great if you could really do it. I can, and I know that now market trends. This market shift will make or break agents in 2025. Are you ready? So it's got all these things. Now we could take it one step further and say, expand upon item number 6. Please make a Facebook post with emojis, a YouTube script for a faceless video, and some tweets. And let's see what this comes up with here. Facebook post. So here we go. This market shift will make or break interest rates, inventory, blah, 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 blah. So now we've got all this. We may or may not like it. I'm not saying to take it at face value. And I'm not saying that it doesn't look a little mechanical. It might, and it does. Here's the faceless video now. And you're able to actually take these things. We could go into some more tools as well that I use and that you could use as well to be able to just program this feedback into it, and it will make a video for you that you could post. But you've got to be consistent about it. See, all these things, this just came up with a very simple search. Claude, another AI that I think you should consider subscribing to. I keep my mastermind transcripts. So every one of our meetings, you could see, we keep stored in here. This section right here is the project knowledge. And so I could, based on what you know about my real estate mastermind, I could say here, please look in your knowledge base. Can you please give me 20 social media posts? Now let's see what this guy comes up with.
I learned yesterday that ChatGPT also has a phone number now. You can call in and basically ask it a quick question and it'll give you a response.
Yes, it does. And right over here, how one agent used ChatGPT to generate 12 listings in 60 days. Our exact process. Okay, we need to find out, is that real or is it hallucinating? The CMA a day strategy, getting 57% open rates. That is something that we do, CMA a day strategy. We have in Claude the ability for you to put just an address and boom, it will print out a CMA for you. Why switch from cold calling 100 people to focus on just 40 neighbors and the results inside? We had an event on that as well. So it's taking all these different topics and putting them out. What are you passionate about? What do you want to do? What is something that you need to build the bridge between what you do and what you know and what your passions are. It could be beekeeping. It could be dating. We haven't talked about dating, for God's sakes. Dating is huge. Food is huge. All of that stuff is huge. Any questions or comments before we have Terry sing us out of here?
I have something. I have something to say. This is not in Miami Beach. I got a call from a potential seller. Actually, she signed the listing already last week.
Congratulations.
About pictures. I was in Europe. I was in France, in Marseille this summer. And I post pictures on Instagram, which I really don't do a lot. Honestly, I love to travel, but I don't put a lot of pictures. And a friend of hers saw me on Instagram and she loved Marseille, this woman. She wants to move there. And she called me and I had a listing appointment last week and she signed the listing. She's selling a place and she wants to move to Marseille just because she called me about the city.
Yeah. Okay. So there you
that
have
was about travel, you know.
You've got the commonalities. I've said this in previous meetings as well. Any alcoholics in here? You go to AA, there's a ton of business happening. I'm not kidding. Okay, people, you got a core group of people that you're building a relationship with. They're dedicated to helping one another. Let's think about this. You're going all the time and you're meeting new people. This is exactly what I tell you all the time. So fuck it. Don't come back here. Just keep going to AA. I'm just kidding. The point is that you need to expand the universe of all this stuff. I hope you do. Marie, if you have time, this is my number. I'm putting it into the chat. Oop, 235 7 5. please give me a call. I would like to catch up with you after the meeting. For those of you, I know that there's a few things that have put on for a Daniel. If you want to know more about us, Daniel is really the man. He really does. He's the wizard behind the curtain. And if you'd like to, for the guests that are here, I know there's a bunch. You'd like to try us free for 30 days. Please do use the link that's been provided here or drop an email to Daniel and he could give you more of the details. And that said, Daniel, do you where's Daniel? He's somewhere. There he is. Daniel, what's the topic next week? We don't
We
have one.
don't have.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I fucked up. Okay, we're gonna have we're gonna get the topics to you. Eitan's gonna kill me. We're gonna get the topics to all of you, and we're gonna get all of February planned out real soon. One of the things that will be coming up is marketing to absentee owners. We already spoke with Andy Neal. He's made the presentation a couple times. He's got some phenomenal ideas to find absentee owners. This is information readily available in your tax records, and he's got a strategy that works really well. 70% of his business are people he's never met before who do not live in the structure that he's selling. So think about that. We got some great content that's coming up here, and all of this makes me look at you and say, it really was great seeing you today. I really hope that you're able to come back the following Wednesday for another exciting episode of
Rain Nation.
Thank you. And if it wasn't for Terry, we'd be stuck in the meeting constantly. Guys, please. I really do want to meet you and I really do want to catch up. Take advantage of that. We put the link there. Let's meet.
Can you repeat your phone number? Can you repeat your phone number?
My number, 561.
Yes, 235.
235-7575.
575. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Give me a call. Guys, good to see everyone. Eitan, let's catch up. Daniel, you're great. John Baton, great to see you. Terry, fantastic. And I'm going to see you all, I hope, next Wednesday. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Have a great
Ed.
week.
Take care.
Bye.